Hi. Hope you enjoyed my first vlog. I did it the other day. I don't know if you managed to have a look. In it I mentioned how BPD had affected like all areas of my life, and I thought I'd share some of the problems with you just briefly. I started cutting at 14. I think it was like a form of release. I was angry but didn't know why. I didn't really know what was going on. I was a bit lost. I found it hard to tell people how I felt, as I didn't really know myself. I started going to child and family services near my town. I think I was about 15, but then I turned 16, so I couldn't actually go anymore. Couldn't carry on there once you're 16. So the psychiatrist I seen at child and family unit, I started seeing privately. She ran a clinic near my house. By the time all this was going on, my GP had already started me on antidepressants, and the school had given me some time off because they couldn't really accept responsibility for me while I was cutting myself in school. I tried to keep it to myself, but it gets out, doesn't it? Talks. After a year of doing fine, I met my wife on a pilgrimage to Lords. She was there, and she didn't know anything about me being ill till about a year later when I was with her and I was 18. I think the first trigger was when I failed my driving test. It might not sound like a big thing, but to me I struggled to cope with it. I downhill and started overdosing as well as cutting. I started buying medication in bulk off the internet. Now this was a big mistake. Do not buy medication off the internet, because most of it is just chemical rubbish. It makes you feel crap. But then I started getting tattoos as well, just small little ones. I'll show you them in my next video or on my page. I'll let you see them at some point. They're just crappy ones. It was like a form of harming, but without harming in a way. It was the pain I enjoyed. And it gave me a lift. I started having larger ones then, till now I'm actually covered in them. Most of them I'd love to get lasered off. Too expensive, and I'd probably end up doing it again, which I don't want to do. It's a bit of an addiction. I've always been told that I've got an addictive personality. Mo, she didn't know how to handle me, which isn't surprising since she'd never met anyone like me before. So it was very hard for her. She didn't know what to do when I got into states, and she had to call my parents down and things, or get the crisis team involved to come and help. After a few years of being up and down, she sort of just rolled with it, and she learned bits along the way, what she read on the internet, and she was very good. She's always stood by me. When I've woke up in hospital, she's been there next to my bed. Doesn't matter which hospital I'm in, she's always been there for me. She's great. I wasn't nice to be around, but she did sit by me, so that's good. And also at this point, I've been smoking cannabis since I was 14. Now I'd sort of died it down, but I was still smoking it, and it has been said to me that that's when my personality changed. I've told this to the shrinks, but he doesn't agree. He said I'm more likely to go on the way of psychosis if cannabis was going to affect me in that way, which it does affect a lot of people. So then again, I wouldn't advise smoking cannabis. After a few rocky years, we moved house about 2 or 3 miles down the road. It was due to a close family member. He got attacked in Manchester, and he was left in a coma. And we wanted to bring him home instead of him being in the hospital. And we needed an adapted house. Well, we found one 2 or 3 miles down the road, and we moved into it. Sadly, he later died from his injuries, but I won't go into detail about that, because that's not what this is about. After this, I started working. I was taking a mixture of chlorpromazine and olanzapine. It seemed to work well for me. I was on quite a high dose, but I was managing to function, I was managing to work, and I wasn't too bad. Uh, it all seemed to work for me, and I was doing okay. Then we had a family domestic, and it totally sent me off the rails. I was up and down, I was angry, I was doing all sorts that I shouldn't have been doing. Then when I was 24, I actually went down to A&E. The night before, I quite badly cut myself, and the next day, I went down to A&E to see the on-call doctor, just for a chat, see what he thought. I was at rock bottom at the time. He suggested I should stay in the unit overnight, just to sleep on it and see how I feel in the morning. That was the beginning of June. I didn't get discharged till late October. During that time, they took me off all my medication. They got me into this way that I didn't like. But when I left in October, I mean, I felt like I was on top of the world. I thought, I don't need my family anymore. I'm going to get my own place. I'm going to be free. 2.5 years followed this, with drinking 12 Stella a day, self-harming, overdoses, huge amounts of cocaine and ecstasy. I got banned from driving. I was having illicit affairs with women. My life was a complete mess. I was a mess. I had a CPN and a support worker in this town where I was living, and they were very good to me. They really helped me a lot. They stuck by me. They didn't give up. And I had umpteen admissions to the psych ward, and by the end of it, they got me stable on my meds. They did need tweaking a bit here and there, but they did get it bang on. I did at the time stop my meds now and again, as a lot of people with BPD do. I don't know why we do it, but we always seem to feel like we're okay, we don't need the medication, we're doing fine, or we don't like the side effects, so we stop it. That soon follows with going downhill, and you learn that you do need them, because you'll end up back in the unit, lost and lonely as I did. I really struggled to maintain relationships, as I was so up and down. I was impulsive, erratic, all sorts was going on, and I didn't know where my head was at. I was emotionally unstable, hence the diagnosis. I decided to go back to my wife and family. I was very grateful she'd have me back. She had understood a lot what had gone on, and because she still loved me, it worked out great. I did everything slowly, I didn't rush into it. So I'm known for being impulsive, and then I'm impulsive, I'll do something, and then I'll end up crashing, I'm back to square one. So I did things slowly, moved back in, we had a great Christmas, we've been on holiday. Now, as you heard in my first vlog, what meds I'm on now, they're working really well, and it's been over 18 months since I harmed myself. I'm off all the drugs, and I'm stable, and happy. This is why I felt it was time to put the past in the past and try to move on. So I started my therapy last Thursday, my DBT, dialectic behaviour therapy. It was only really meeting a therapist, getting to know each other. She gave me a bit of homework, and I'm looking forward to this Thursday when I'm going back to see her. I'm going to make a real go at it. I love all my family, and I do not want to hurt them any more than I already have done. I know I've put them through a lot, and it's not been fair, but we're coming out the other side now, and it's all looking good. Not had any dips, and I'm hoping it's all going to go on to be good now. We're all very happy, we're all very settled. Now moving forward and looking back helps me to realise how far I have actually come. And it's been great to get through it. I'm in a serious amount of debt though. My years of impulsive buying have just messed me up. But I'm trying to sort that out. I'm working with a worker, my centre, to try and resolve this situation. But I did do a lot of impulsive buying. I went through some really bad anger issues as well over the past 7 or 8 years. I've had some really bad anger issues. Now I do tend to direct this anger at myself. Um, I've taken it out on myself. But I could be angry at someone else, but really I'm angry at myself for the way I am. And a lot of the time I directed it at the wrong people, but I'm working at it, and with the help of my therapist, hopefully I'll be fixed. Hope you've enjoyed listening to this. If you've got any questions, just stick them down or contact me.